So I'm a big fan of Red Fox. Red Fox starred in Sanford and Son, the 1970 sitcom. Started 1972 to 1977. The show has been off the air for over 43 years. The show lasted 6 seasons. There was never really a final episode. The final episode is School Days, where Fred Sanford finally he didn't graduate from high school. He dropped out of high. I mean, he dropped out of school when he I think it was when he was in the fifth or sixth grade. On the series, Red Fox character Fred Sanford mentions that he never graduated from uh, middle school. He never graduated from high school. Or he didn't even go to middle school. I think he graduated when he dropped out of high school when he was like fifth or sixth grade, and he had to support his family. The last episode was very emotional. He actually gets his high school diploma, which will probably make it easier here. He can go to college and probably get his life started. And it's kind of sad because Fred Sanford's character was in his late 60s. He was 68 years old when he got his high school diploma. He goes back to school. He actually gets his high school degree. And but there was never a final episode. We never get to see Lamont get married. We never get to see Lamont and his wife have kids and have his own place. I thought that the show could have progressed if the show maybe lasted another. I think the show could have lasted maybe another 2 seasons. We could have saw or they could have made a spin-off sitcom about Lamont's life. And I think the show probably could have lasted a couple good seasons because Lamont was a very interesting character on the show. But they could have had Lamont move in with his father. His family. I think he was engaged to a woman, a very attractive woman, and she has a teenage son. I thought it would have been cool to see his Fred Sanford's grandson, his daughter, his son's daughter, his son's wife move in with him, and see how that goes. How they all argue with each other, they can't get along with each other. I think that would have worked out pretty good. Um, Red Fox filed for bankruptcy in 1983. Now, Red Fox was making millions from Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son was one of the most successful shows of the 1970s. He was making millions a year, and he spent most of that money on women, drugs, gambling, and cars. I think he bought about 8 cars. He was spending money on just pretty much just drugs and women, and he was married about 4 or 5 times. He's been divorced a couple times. He filed for bankruptcy in 1983 from the IRS, and they came to us. He in Las Vegas. They came to his house. Then they went out and they stole all his stuff. They stole his furniture, his jewelry, his cars. He had 8 cars. They stole all his cars. They took everything. They took his furniture, his TV. I think he was married at the time. It was humiliating, embarrassing for him to actually experience that as a black man, not be able to having the FBI come to your house and take everything from you, and the only thing they left was his bed. That was the only thing that they had left for Mr. Sanford. So he die broke? Yes. Red Fox died 1991. He had a gig called, he did a TV series called Royal Family, which you know, he had just started the show. He was in a few episodes. He died in 1991, and it's said that he died broke. He did because he didn't save any of his money. He spent most of that money on worldly stuff. He didn't save his money. He didn't invest in his money. This happens to a lot of celebrities. A lot of celebrities they spend all their money on junk. So Red Fox was in a mess at the time of his death. He died when he was 68 years old. And I'll probably talk more about this in my next video. Give you people more details. Mr. J here, peace.